Hi everybody, I'm Steve Dininno and I want to talk a little bit about monotypes. So what is a monotype? A monotype is a form of printmaking. It's a very different form of printmaking from, say, etching or dry point or block printing or any other, really, solar plate printing, any other printmaking technique you could think of, in that it's very spontaneous and you get a single image when you print your monotype. So when you create an image and you run it through the press, you get one image. You are not going to be able to get an addition from it. Addition, for those of you who don't know printmaking or don't know too well, an addition is what you would get from etching or, again, lithography or block printing, where you could get 20, 30, 40 or more near identical prints from an image. Monotype, it's a singular image. That may be a drawback, but one of the great things about it is that it's so spontaneous that you could create many images in one session. So let me show you a little bit about it, a little bit about the supplies, and a little bit about the technique itself. Okay, so what we're going to do is what I start with is a sketch or a printout, computer printout of either one of my drawings or my paintings. This was a painting. What I did was I photographed it in Photoshop. I fooled around with some filters, turned it into black and white because then it's easier for me to follow. Now, I like this orientation. But I know that it's going to be reversed. Always remember that. When you're going to pull a print, it's going to be reversed because it's on a plate and you pull the paper up and everything is reversed. So I took that into account here. I didn't want the cars going from right to left. I want them going left to right, and it will do that when I pick it up. So that's the sketch that I use, and I do the actual monotype on a piece of plexiglass. This one's a little dirty. It should be a little cleaner. It's a little scratched, but it'll be fine for what I need it to do. I put that over the sketch, and I'm going to trace off my sketch with that. Now, here's some of the other tools. We have what's called a brayer. These come in different sizes, bigger than this, smaller than this. For this one, I think this is the one I'm going to use. I'm going to use a couple of old paintbrushes. This is to spread the ink here, and I have what I use is black etching ink for this. Now, this is what we're using for this, but you could use almost anything. I've used chopsticks, I've used Q-tips, I've used rags, paper towels. You could use anything to make marks in it. I'm also going to be using some cloth, what's called tarlatan cloth, and it looks like this. It's almost like you can see it's like a cheesecloth. See? And I like using that for it too. So, okay, let's make an image. Get some of the black ink from what we call the well, drag that out. You lift the brayer. You don't go like that. You lift the brayer to get some ink on it. Go in different directions so it's kind of even. And now you could either do the whole plate, cover the whole plate, or you could do parts of the plate, which is what I'm going to do. And by how much you press, too, will tell you how much ink you're going to get on it. So I'm just putting some stuff here. Okay. Just want to get some texture in here. I like using the side of the brayer. I'm going to do something really quick here. Not a big deal. But you can see the lines I made using the side of the brayer. Okay, now I can use this tarlatan and wipe out some of this. Wipe it out, or at least move it around. See? See, I'm making a mess, but that's okay, because this is what I was talking about earlier when I said about it lays on top of the plate. It's not etched into the plate. You're basically just moving ink. You're moving ink around on this plastic plate. You're pushing and pulling it. Okay. Okay, so I have that. Now I'm going to go in, I think, with a brush and just start marking off some areas here. Okay. Cropped it so you don't have to sit through me doing every little line, every little detail, but I think this is good enough now to print, so you'll get the idea. So what I do now is I carefully peel it off the paper. I have this balled up tape holding it in place. Okay. I clean the edges. That's the wrong cloth. I use a little cotton rag to clean off the edges because I don't want to have all that ink framing the image. So I do that. Okay. So we got that. And now it's ready for me to go and get some paper to put it on the press. So the next step is to get the paper that we're going to print on. So I have this plastic photo tray with water, and I'm soaking some paper, printmaking paper. This is Reeves BFK. Sometimes I use a brand called Hahnemühle. I take this out of here. I let the excess water drip off the corner of the paper. I had already pre-cut it to the size that I'm going to need. So now I take it and I put it here, and this is just a regular bath towel. I lay it there. I kind of sandwich it in between the top, and I use an old, this is a phone book cover. Good luck finding those. And I just rub it around where the paper is, just to get that excess water off of that. Okay. And now the paper is ready to print. So this is my etching press that I use in my studio. It's called a tabletop etching press. And let's go in and take a little bit of a closer look here. Now I have the image on the plexiglass that I did. I sandwich it in between newsprint. This is going to go over the paper when we put the paper down. And hopefully this image will come up. Okay, so I am going to put the the printmaking paper over my image. Hope I get it straight. I'm kind of winging it here. I think that'll be all right. And like I said, I sandwich it in between. I then move the whole thing a little closer to where the blankets are. I pull this 3 blankets, pull them over. That's 2, there's 3. And now I'm going to let her rip. Okay, so let's see what we get here. Okay, so here we go. So now that pressure should put the image on the plate, but let's see what we got. Okay, not bad. So that's a monotype. And I pulled it, see, here's the plate again. And as you can see, it's reversed from where it was on the plate.